Travis is going to hit record on the intro.
It's the intro time.
It's the intro. This is the
Welcome
intro
to the Hawg Slop,
to the Hawg Slop. Welcome to the Slop House.
the Slop
Um,
House.
I think Arkansas just scored again.
Yep, more than likely.
More likely just scored again. Of
Well,
course,
we
we
went
are
to
going
the we went to the backyard. We saw our brother there. We beat the crap out of him, and now we got to tell
just
mom
fun.
why we did it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about that. Plus, you just got back from Vegas. You got a cool story to
Vegas
tell.
got a killer story. I
Has
ran
to do
into
with Charlie Hustle,
Charlie Hustle.
and I think you want to pick on your least favorite coach in the world.
Oh,
And
yes, I do.
we'll
Yes,
talk
I do.
about playing the pokes. So, hey, before we do all that, take a listen to Sean Michelle.
And then
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you a change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his name.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Hawg Slop podcast. I'm your boy, Bigger T, joined as always by my man, Big C, Clint Clark. How you doing, homeboy?
Man, I am fantastic. I just got back from Las Vegas, Nevada. Did the podcast. Seems like we're always doing the podcast once a year about football season from Las Vegas. This year was no exception.
You're still rocking the Magnum PI look.
I'm still rocking the Magnum PI look. Got the mustache going on, and got a new hat.
Hey,
And I'm pretty excited about the hat.
We're-
Let me tell you, we went to this VR place, Travis,
Mhm.
called Sandbox. First time it was just me and Johnny. We went and we killed
VR
the
is short for virtual reality for you that
Yeah.
don't know.
Dude, no, you had the glass on and like you have glasses on and earphones in. They put things on you, and it's like you're in a video game and you're a full life character, and your buddy's like a cyborg too.
Mm.
And you're so we killed zombies the first time, which
Good.
which was good. So
If you're gonna kill something, zombies is a good thing to kill.
yeah. So we end up Friday, Saturday, I think it was no Saturday night before we leave Vegas. I want to do something as a group. We talked about doing an escape room. We couldn't really agree upon that. So I said, hey, let's do how does everybody feel about doing the VR thing? So me, Johnny, Anna, and Johnny's girlfriend Lizzie, we all went back to Sandbox. We didn't want to do the zombies again because we had already killed all the zombies.
Hmm.
Why kill what you've already killed? Am I right?
Yeah.
So we did this different one. I can't remember what it was called, Amber 88 or something like that, where it's in space. But anyway, what I did not know was it simulated extreme heights.
Ooh.
And you know how I am with heights. Like there was
Yeah.
at one point I completely froze. Like I'm there in the corner like this, and they made it look like the people with you got shot like 2 miles that way.
Mm.
And I'm just curled up in the corner about to cry. And then a monster would come over and I'd just go, and anyway, dude, it was freaking like I kept telling myself, like, dude, you know you're just on a rubber mat.
Yeah.
Like you're not going anywhere. It's like, and my brain is like, no, you're gonna fall.
Jump off. Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it was virtual reality, terrifying.
Nice.
But that wasn't the most significant thing that happened.
Yeah, first of all, you went to a fancy steakhouse, right?
Fancy restaurant. Then I walked in, I felt like the MSRP on my car was not high enough to be there.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was on somebody else's dime. So all right.
There you go. Why not?
So I'm sitting there eating and I'm just going like, is my 21 Chevy Trailblazers are not enough to be eating here? They find out I'm in a Chevy Trailblazer, they may kick me out of this.
That's right. They just send you go.
But
Go to
hey,
the Waffle.
you
Get to the
Go-
Waffle House. That's a Trailblazer place.
Go on, get. And so I'm in there, and then I look up, and these folks are walking in, and I look at my wife and go, that's Pete Rose. Freaking Charlie Hustle himself, Pete Rose. What's great about this was we have a he just had a special come out on HBO
Mm.
about him. And I remember in the early text group, somebody says about like he's a scumbag. So literally, I just called the man a scumbag, not to his face, of course, but I mean,
Yeah, you were talking pretty bad about him on the text group.
well, and I meant everything I said.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I'm not going to back down on it. But still, I'm not going to walk up to him in a freaking nice restaurant and go, "You're a scumbag." But I mean, I'm going to be like, "Holy crap, that's Pete Rose."
If I would have been there with you, I could have walked up and showed him the text message.
Yeah, so look,
Hey, hey, see
about
this guy right here? He's what he said about you. And he, even though he's like 80 years old or whatever, he might have put a cleat in your chest.
might have put, but here he was. Well, he
If
was
he is a
saying
scumbag, he would do something like that.
he was saying overtly, not nice things that you probably shouldn't say.
Mm.
And I won't get into that, but he was there with a Hollywood producer talking about doing a production of a scripted adaptation of the Big Red Machine.
Oh,
Because I seriously, from they were talking about this, I'm sitting there hearing this conversation, and I'm just ignoring my wife. Like it's like she's not.
yeah.
Even
You at that point, you don't listen to
yeah,
anybody.
like
at
I
your
just like,
table.
hey, listen.
I mean, even your lovely wife, you don't. I mean, you just don't listen, even though she's a good conversationalist.
Yeah,
You don't listen. It doesn't matter who it is. You got Charlie Hustle at the next table.
tell us.
You're listening in. Yeah.
I think he truly believes that they're going to realize that hey, he was really really good at baseball, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. No, Pete, what they wanted was you to say I'm sorry and
Yeah.
not to do the other appropriate stuff he did and mean it.
And not be such a jerk to Bart Giamatti because
Yeah,
everybody that was friends with Bart Giamatti is who's keeping him out. And
yeah. So
from what I hear anyway, I'm not
it
an
is,
insider.
yeah, it is what it is. I don't think he won't get in his lifetime, and it's sad because he's probably the greatest hitter of all time.
Well, I got a funny story to tell you, and I put this on Facebook yesterday just because it's one of those things you see it happening and you're like, okay, I got to
Yeah,
put this out there somewhere on social media. I work at a school. I'm at a different school this year. I'm at a junior high, middle school, right? And where I park, well, pretty much our whole school at 3:30. Well, no, I'm sorry. At about 3 o'clock, cars start lining up for pickup. Okay. And these people are serious. Like I had to leave one day I had an appointment for physical therapy. And like, no lie, I couldn't get out of my parking spot because these people would not move because they're afraid they're going to lose their spot in the line for pickup. And they were 30 minutes early to pick their kids up. But anyway, so I'm sitting there and I look and there's a guy. I hear some music playing and I look and there's a white, is like an Oldsmobile sedan from like mid 80s, probably 2-door, nothing fancy, just, no cool stereo system, factory stereo, right?
right.
Nothing, but this guy, a young man sitting probably looked about 20 years old with a mullet and a trucker hat sitting there. And he's listening to Hank Jr., Whiskey Bent and Hellbound.
Maybe that's what I'm doing. Giving out early 90s mom vibes, isn't she?
Man, I
Like,
thought, wow. And then I put that on Facebook and somebody immediately put like a Joe Dirt picture up there. And I thought that's perfect because he looked like Joe Dirt's son.
Joe
With
Dirtek.
an 80s car instead of a cool a cool Mopar car. But anyway, dude, it was so funny, man. And he blared it like he was all in. He had the window down. He was letting everybody know he was listening to Whiskey Bent and Hellbound by Hank Jr. It was so funny, dude. So apparently Joe Dirt's son or nephew or something lives in Camden. So anyway. Well, listen, folks, like I said in the intro, we went to the backyard,
Just slapped little brother around.
beat little brother up badly.
Yeah,
Badly.
I tell you,
And now we got to tell mom what happened. Why is little brother bloody like that? Why is he got a black eye? Why is his nose bleeding?
at some point, and as someone who's beat up their little brother before,
Yeah.
at some point you got to say Marty and trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Might as well.
might as well get my money's worth.
Might as well score a touchdown on every drive.
Well, and I did one thing I did like is I really do feel like in the past, say it would. There's no way Sam Pittman would have scored 70 points.
No.
There's no way. By the time Malachi Singleton came in the game, it'd be 3 yards. Clouds look like, God, don't you think about throwing it?
Yeah.
Especially not even let KJ Jackson throw it. They had decided before the game we were going to run our offense. We're going to run our offense back, and that's an old.
I think that's a Bobby Petrino.
Yeah,
that's his influence.
I think so. But also, like Steve Spurrier back in the days, like my backup quarterback wants to get in there, I'm gonna let him play football.
Yeah,
and I think that was
well, and I think the conversation Bobby probably had with him was, if you want my offense to be ready for Oklahoma State, you let me run. This is not a good warm-up game for us. This team is bad. Everything we say good about this game, we have to follow it up with ... but it was UAPB. UAPB's ranked like 120 something out of 129 teams in their division. Okay. They're bad. This is not, we could say, well, we looked worse against, we looked bad against Western Carolina last year. They were kind of the same. Okay. Western Carolina would beat UAPB by 4 touchdowns.
But here's the honest to God. Here's the thing. Outside not scheduling this game to begin with,
yeah,
there's nothing Arkansas could have done.
You got to play who's in front of you. Yeah,
you got to play. There's literally nothing there. Listen, if you want to pick on something on this game, you are literally looking for something to pick on.
Yeah,
you really are.
Well, and let's talk about the negatives we saw. Okay. First of all, at the beginning of the game, Green was not accurate. He was, and I believe it was his footwork. He was throwing like a baseball pitcher. When he would come through with his throw, he was bringing his back foot forward. It was like he was coming off a mound. Okay. Now your back foot's going to come forward some, but he was very prominently bringing it forward. It's causing the ball to go down and away. And that's what was happening. He wasn't throwing real accurate. The good thing is he fixed it.
No, the 100%.
And by the second quarter, he was a lot more accurate. His leg was staying back like it should have been. I think it was just adrenaline. He was ready to score right. He was pushing to score. The first play, they go deep, right? He was pushing to score right away. Okay. So that's one of the obvious negatives, but it turned into a positive, and we may not see that the rest of the year. Okay. Hopefully.
No, I think he figured it out. I think he looked better. The longer the game went on, the better he looked as a passer.
Yeah.
And I think you could probably equate a lot of that to just first game nerves.
Yeah.
But how many games like this have we seen? And everybody, I'm not going to say it's UAPB, where you take on an opponent that you are legit better than.
Yeah.
Legit, you're better than this team. And we've done it 1,000 times. And you leave going, well, at least we won by a few touchdowns.
Yeah.
No,
that's Arkansas's MO, man. That's what we've done in the past.
They had the foot on their neck and they didn't take it off.
Yeah.
They did it. It didn't matter if it was the first team, second team, third team. They did it. And you can't say anything bad about the defense, really. I mean, they gave up a couple.
Well, there is some negatives on the defense.
Go ahead.
That our tackling could have been better. And that's coming from Pittman. I mean, that's one of the things he's that he's saying this week too, that they got to work on their, he said, but that's normal for the first game. When you're going against another team, you're tackling, every team doesn't tackle as well in the first game as they do later on in the season. So now I say that and they shut them out, Clint. Okay. Yeah. So that's a nitpicky thing. Okay. That's a very nitpicky thing because yes, we got to get better at tackling, but we were still pretty dang good at tackling. Okay. So we were good enough to win a lot of games with our tackling. So that's just something they can improve on. And that's a little more probably coach speak because I mean, there was some missed tackles. It's just we were so much better than them. And when our guys missed, there were people there to make up for it, and they still didn't get yardage. Okay.
The pursuit was fantastic. I thought,
Yeah.
we got pressure when we should have got pressure. He didn't have the UAPB's quarterback never really had a clean pocket.
And that quarterback wasn't a horrible. I mean, he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high
He's a
school.
4-star recruit. Just life led him to Pine Bluff. I don't know what he did.
Yeah.
But he but anyway, as a tradition every year on the Big C Bigger T podcast, we do our players of the game both offensively and defensively. So, Travissimo, I'm going to give you the first dibs at the offensive MVP.
Well, I'm gonna go with. Can I go with 2?
Man, you're part of the podcast, aren't you?
If their numbers are right next to each other on the numerical scale,
Go ahead.
number 54 and 55, our 2 tackles, our 2 new tackles, Blackstock and Carmona. They looked good, Clint. And look, ... I know it was UAPB, but they were where they were supposed to be when they were supposed to be there. It's not anything against them that the guys they were hitting fell to the ground very quickly. Okay. Carmona got offensive lineman of the week. Congratulations to him. I sent him a message, congratulating him on that. I sent him a message after the game, on Russell's first run, Clint. There was a toss to the left. Okay. Carmona pulls out ahead of him. He hits, I don't know who the guy was. I don't know if it was a linebacker or a D-back, whichever one. He hits the guy. The guy doesn't go down. He knocks him back about 5 yards. And Carmona keeps going after him and takes him and another defender that's behind him out on the next hit. So he hits him, pushes him back, keeps going after him, hits him again, and takes 2 guys out. That's the kind of and Blackstock was doing the same thing on the other side.
Yeah.
Blackstock is a beast. Okay. I'd watched, because we had Carmona on the podcast, I'd watched film on him. I kind of knew what to expect with him. I hadn't done that with Blackstock. Blackstock from Michigan State, beast. I like our 2 tackles, Clint. I like them a lot. They got out in front of the running backs. It didn't matter who was at running back. But yeah, so that's my 2. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I thought hard about this. I thought about giving it to Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought about it because he called a well of a game.
Yeah.
Taylon Green played a well of a game. I even thought about Marion Harris, because we all know I've been singing his praises for years.
Bang, bang, bang. You've been banging the drum.
I am giving it to none other than Samuel Pittman.
Oh, what?
Sam, because here's the thing. The team, I think, at the end of the day, takes on the identity of his head coach, and the offensive line play was tough.
Yeah.
And they played hard, they played strong, they did what they wanted to. Pittman's smart enough to hire somebody like Bobby Petrino to run the offense, and then he's even smarter to let him run it.
Yeah.
Because let's just be honest with the talent that Texas A&M had last year. If Jimbo would have got out of the way and let Petrino call the offense, he'd still be employed. And Bobby Petrino wouldn't be in Arkansas. Pittman knows that his back's against the wall.
Yeah.
That this is his make or break year, and he made some hires, he made some choices. This offensive line is an offensive line that he went for the most part and got out of the portal.
Yeah.
This is Pittman's offensive line. There's no Chad Morris players on this offensive line.
Yep.
This is a Sam Pittman offensive line, and at least ... against UAPB. And really, I get tired of saying that because they played who was in front of them. They dominate who was in front of them. Yeah. They didn't take them lightly. They showed up and they beat the crap out of them, which that's the advantage of playing them game one. then
They did what they were supposed to do.
okay, Travis.
Yep.
Yep. All right, let's go. And then I got another question. We'll group back around to it. We'll come back to it. But okay, so defensively.
This one, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say his name wrong. Nico
Yep.
Daviar, however you say his last name. He had a well of a game. He was all over the place.
All over the place.
And he was easy to see all over the place because he's got all that hair.
Number 0 on the defensive line.
I mean, our defensive line all played really good. I watched them. I tend to watch them a lot, and I tried to watch the linebackers more, and they were doing good. But to be honest with you, our defensive line was so dominant over their offensive line that, I mean, our linebackers did good. I thought. I mean, they didn't do bad at all. I mean, they did good, but that defensive line was so dominant. You know, I mean, Landon Jackson, you could have called him as one. I mean, Gregory had a great game. Some of the big guys that come in, you know, the back, you know, we got two guys over 350 that are in rotation at D tackle.
Yeah. So I saw them. There were some big old boys.
And Cam Ball's up to like 315. I saw the other day. You know, I think he was.
Cam had a heck of he had a heck of a game. Had a heck of a fall camp.
He looked good. Yeah.
He looked great.
All those guys did, but Nico's mine. He did. I thought he had a great game. He was all over the field.
And that's the price I pay for letting you go first. You still mine. But I agree with everything you said on how the defensive line looked. I agree with everything you said. Yeah, like I could not have said it better myself. That's why I'm giving it to Deke Adams.
There you go. Good call.
Like I was as good to be Nico, and then it was like he took
it. And that's a good call, Clint, because not only for how they played, but have you seen some of the recruits he's got?
Oh yeah,
he's got some commit. I think he got a commitment last week from a big time defensive end.
4-star committed,
and he's got some other guys like I think Hawg Sports may have done an article on how good of job recruiting he's doing right now. So yeah, great call, Deke Adams. Way to go, Deke. Great job. So did you say you had another question before we turn the page to Oklahoma State?
Yeah, before we turn the page, is it time to end the games in Little Rock?
Man, look, they had problems again. Look, I love Little Rock. I love having games in Little Rock. But if the people running the stadium can't up their game, I'm talking, Clint, they ran out of water and stuff again. They ran out of
water pressure. You couldn't use the toilets. It was straight up not a good time.
That's terrible, man.
And I was at the Porta Potty Bowl against Kansas and Arkansas.
Yeah,
I call it now Kansas.
Yeah.
So yeah, they.
I mean, and a lot of my fandom happened in Little Rock. Okay, I mean, I love Little Rock games. But if all they give us is Western Carolina and UAPB, look, every now and then play LSU, Ole Miss every 3 years, something like that. There, if you don't give us crap games, is what I'm saying.
Well,
give us some good games. Play it a non-conference. Play this Oklahoma State game back when it's back home, play it there, something like that. Do something like that. But to me, because if you do that, you're going to fill the stands. You're not going to fill the stands against UAPB. You're not going to fill the stands. I mean, if you played UAPB up at Fayetteville, there would have been the same amount of people there. Yeah. And it would have looked a lot worse because it's a bigger stadium.
Well, but then you wouldn't have to bust the team and all that.
That's true.
To me, it's time to end it. I mean, because here's the thing: if you play Missouri in Fayetteville, you're going to draw 70,000 plus.
Yeah.
If you play them in Little Rock, you're going to draw 50,000. You've given up 20 fans, and then there's certain recruiting advantages you lose, and you're already playing one game a year in Dallas. To me, it's just time to pull.
They're about to get rid of the Dallas game.
Yeah.
And so I think if they played one game, just give us one good game in Little Rock every now and then,
I think that time's come and gone.
We're gonna have Arkansas State there. I guess will be the next one. But I don't know. I agree.
Well,
I mean, it probably
speaking of
is.
Arkansas State, as you know, as much as I dislike UCA, and I got accused of disliking Mike Norvell because he was a UCA alum.
Yeah,
it's not true. That's not true. I just think he's a chicken.
yeah.
But that's the end. That's 0-2 Florida State.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not so easy without Travis, is it?
Yeah,
Travis podcast. It just wouldn't be easy without Travis.
That's right.
You're struggling, Mike, and I feel bad I don't feel bad at all.
No, not at all.
You're a very good football coach. I think you inherited a lot of talent at Memphis, and then you piggybacked off somebody else's success. You went to Florida, got a yellow streak on your back during the COVID year, and then you happened to land into a top-notch quarterback, and now you don't have one, and you're getting exposed for not being a very good football coach. So,
and to think a lot of people have said, if we would have got him, we'd be in a lot better shape at Arkansas instead of Sam Pittman.
Here's the thing. Sam Pittman's a good football coach.
Yeah.
And he knows more about football than all of us forgot it. And Sam Pittman knows where he's at.
Yeah.
He knows what kind of performance he has to have. And if you think Sam Pittman's going to go down this season without a fight, you are crazy.
Yeah.
And you're stupid. I said it.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So here we go. We're heading over to Oklahoma State to play the Cowpokes at Boone Pickens Stadium. T. Boone Pickens. In case you're looking for a name, if you're out there, you got a kid on the way, you're looking for something to name them. How about T. Boone?
T. Boone Pickens. Anyway. About 50,000 seats. Really loud from what Pittman says.
Yeah, they got a good fan base. They got a mulleted coach that is a man. He's 40. Well, he's like 50 now, but still. Yeah. At one time
he's been at Oklahoma State for 20 years.
Something like that. Yeah.
Unheard of. That's an unheard of run anywhere.
They have a Heisman Trophy candidate possible at running back. They have an offensive line that is really good. Some people think that
I was listening to another podcast for Ben. They said they may get the award for best all-around offensive line.
I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That they'll be up for it, especially if their running back does well. And I watched a little bit of their first game. That running back can catch out of the backfield too. He's got good hands. They use him a lot of different ways. They got a quarterback who has been playing football for 7 years.
Yeah, they'll lose a 7th-year senior.
7-year senior. There'll never be another one. Yeah. Unless we have another COVID year sometime or something similar.
Now, but the thing is, this reminds me a lot of a Bobby Petrino coached Arkansas team.
Yeah.
And offense play. Really good on offense. And we're really good on offense. Defensively, they're not setting the world on fire. South Dakota State did move the ball consistently on them.
Yep.
And I picture Arkansas being the same way. I think this one is going to be won and lost on the sideline. That's probably the team that makes the fewest mistakes, I think, is going to win. If you look at the end of the day, whoever wins that turnover battle, in the field position battle, they should win the game.
Yeah.
In this one, I think the line opened at 9.5, which to me is insulting. The South Dakota State line was 9.5.
Yeah.
So they're saying Arkansas and South Dakota State are the same team. It's down to 7.5. I guess a lot of money came in on Arkansas.
Yeah.
The over's at 60. Do yourselves a favor, kid. Take the over. I really think the over's on this one. I think both teams are going to score.
Yeah.
And I don't think they can stop Arkansas from scoring a lot. And I don't know if we can stop them. Now, if you're Arkansas, do you sell out to stop the run? You're going to put yourself in a lot of cover zero and risk getting burned by the 7th-year senior.
Yeah.
What do you think, Travis?
I think, one thing we did not see last week against UAPB is blitzes. Travis Williams didn't blitz a lot. which we didn't need to exactly. I mean, we were getting pressure with our defensive line. It's going to be interesting because it's going to be good on good. I mean, our strongest part of our team's our defensive line. I'm more convinced of that after UAPB than ever. Strongest part of their team is going to be their offensive line and their running back. So that's going to be interesting to watch that. We're going to see how our linebackers play. I think you're right. We can score on them. Can our defense stop them? Can the backside of our defense, can our safeties stop the pass? Can we stay with receivers? You know, there was a couple times receivers got loose. UAPB receivers got loose on us.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I was going to say that earlier on that there was a step out of bounds. Hadn't been a step out of bounds, then it would have been. Now that was a backyard, just lucky play, but it's still it happened. It just happened not count.
Now, but the thing is, they've been talking good about our D-backs. Our D-backs have size, they have speed, so they say. Now, according to that wide receiver from UAPB, he said they were big and slow, which is why I started saying that it was going to be a shutout for the defense before the game, which it turned out to be. Clint, I predicted in our preseason as we went through the deal, I predicted that Oklahoma State would win this game. And you predicted the Hogs would win this game. And then the next game, Auburn, I predicted that the Hogs would beat Auburn, but then you predicted they would lose to Auburn. Mm-hmm. I think one of us is going to, I think we're going to win one of these next two games and we're going to lose one of these next two games. I feel like Auburn's tougher than what I was expecting. And I feel like Oklahoma State is not as good as what I was expecting. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I think both the next two games are winnable games, including the Auburn game, because I think, you're going to have a sour taste in your mouth from last year, but let's not get too far there. Let's not get too far. Let's not eat the cake before we eat the foot of the elephant.
I still think this game, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be under the 7.5. I think it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a hugely high scoring game. I know you said bet the over. I think our defense will slow them down some, and I'm afraid their defense, even though their defense isn't great, until our receivers prove it. I think our receivers are underrated. I think our receivers are talented. They still got to show me on the field in a big game against good D-backs.
Yeah, you know, 100%. I liked what I saw out of Tesla.
Tesla looked great. Bolden
82 or 89. I can't remember. It was a newer guy that I'd not seen before. He looked very good. I think it was 82. It wasn't the old man. I say old man. He's an old man. He's 20 years younger than me, but and he's an old man.
Yeah.
But for a college student, he is old. 29.
Jordan Anthony,
I believe it was.
He's a Texas A&M transfer. He's a track star. Yeah.
He looked good. I thought Tesla looked good. Broden looked good. Luke Haas looked good.
Yeah.
But it was just UAPB. So I mean, the weapons are there. The running backs, we had a slew of those. I mean,
and
if they would decide to get any of those running backs, they wanted every one of them over 100 yards. They could have got every one of them over 100 yards.
Our running backs looked really good. I thought. Really good. I think all of them hit the hole.
And the incumbent Dominion, he played probably the least, but then again, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I think he was dealing with injury, but he's still. Those other guys are good, man. That kid from Florida State, Rodney Hill's good.
Looked real good. I was really pleased with everything I saw. I did listen to that one podcast. It sounded like me and you may listen to the same one. Just for a minute, they talk about Taylor Green looks like the type of quarterback that Bobby Petrino can groom to make the next great one.
But here's the deal, Clint. You know, our ex quarterback Clint Sterner came out after the UAPB game, and he said that Singleton looked better than Green. And I can't argue with him. Singleton looked really good.
He did. He did. But
Now,
I
was
mean,
going against UAPB ... and backups ... or I put my dots in the wrong place.
The whole thing is he was able to get that opportunity to showcase what he can do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're going to get that opportunity again. Because, I mean, look at the opportunity KJ got. KJ got forced in a situation against Missouri. And instead of going in the transfer portal to try to get a starting quarterback, Pittman was like, let me roll with KJ. And then 9-4 happened. So,
but if you're judging just on throwing motion and accuracy, I like Singleton, man.
Oh, I did too.
I liked what he looked like.
I was very pleased with him, and I feel good.
If Green goes down, like last year, I thought Jacoby Criswell did not live up to what I thought we had. Okay. I wasn't too worried last year because I thought if KJ gets hurt, which, the way he ran the ball, it was inevitable. He was going to get hurt sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just, he ran, because he ran people over, man. I mean, and he's just going to get dinged up some. And so I thought I wasn't too worried about Criswell. And then Criswell got in. I'm like, ooh, never mind. I am worried now. We got to keep KJ in. Well, but when Malachi came in the other day, I was like, all right, if Green gets hurt running the ball, let him run it.
Yeah.
Because we're okay with Malachi. And then KJ Jackson looked pretty daggone good too.
And you saw a splattering all over college football. You saw so many transfer portal quarterbacks that are figuring out their new team. And then you saw like a couple of games. You saw USC LSU where the guys had waited their turns.
Yeah.
And they'd waited their turns. And so we'll have to see what the future is. So 11 a.m. kick against Oklahoma State on ABC.
Yep. The team's going to stay in Tulsa. I read today, or Pittman was telling today in the press conference. They're going to stay the night in Tulsa and drive over the rest of the way the next morning. So
11 a.m. kick. You got to love it as the road team.
Yeah.
You get the fans don't get nearly as lubricated as they do.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I want to bring this up because I know we're getting close to the end of the podcast. And we kind of segued quicker than I wanted to earlier, but UCA played Arkansas State this weekend.
Yeah.
Arkansas State down by, was it 4? So they needed to.
Something like that. I'm not for sure what it was.
Touchdown. They were down by 4. They needed a touchdown. 7 seconds left. First and goal. Throw the ball. It gets ruled incomplete. They look at it upstairs. And there's 3 seconds left in the game. There's time for another play. I mean, it wasn't over.
Yeah.
Replay booth looks at it and they get it wrong.
Yeah.
How is this still happening?
Yeah.
How is this still happening?
Did you see the receiver talk about it in the press conference afterwards? He was talking about the cat. He's like, even though it came out of my hand, I guess they called it a catch. And Butch Jones was off to the side going, it was a catch. Like the receiver that didn't catch it, that they called it a catch, was even acting like he didn't think it was a catch. And Butch Jones was over there. It was a catch. It was a catch. It was so bad.
You couldn't pay me to listen to a Butch Jones press conference, but
yeah.
No, it was definitely. All we want you to get it right, man.
Yeah.
We don't care if it goes in our favor.
But Clint, it's okay. Clint, it's okay. Clint, it's okay. Because the officials sent him a nice letter afterwards and said, hey, we messed up. Oopsie. You were playing a huge game against an in-state rivalry that your team got up for, your fans got up for, probably the game most anticipated until you get to the playoffs later in the year. The most anticipated regular season game you got this year. We screwed up. Oopsie. Now feel better. Go ahead. Have a good year.
If you're Arkansas State, do you feel good about that win?
No.
It's kind of like when Auburn beat Arkansas and it was such a horse crap ending.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you were Gus, would you feel good about it? You shouldn't.
Yeah.
If UCA, like, we got screwed. You don't know what would have happened. They took the game. Just repay officials. Get it right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the answer is, but what they're doing is not working still. And as much as I dislike UCA, they got screwed.
Yeah.
They got
hosed on that one. Poor little Bears.
Poor little Bears.
Poor
Couldn't
little
have
Bears.
that much. So
well, folks, this is gonna be a big game. This could be it's a pivotal game for the season.
We're gonna know what kind of season it is by about 3:00 Saturday, I think.
Win or lose, look, let's put out a good effort. Let's leave the game feeling good about the team, whether they win or lose. Okay. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. I want to say, you know what? We had a chance to win that game and we're going to win the next one. Now, I would love to see us just 3 touchdowns. You know, I'd take that too. Okay. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, folks, thank you for listening. Like, share, comment, share this on social media, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is you listen to podcasts. All these different podcast streamers they're bouncing around. So anyway, but wherever you're listening to it, we're on all those things. So please like, share, comment. We need you. We need you. Root on those Hogs, baby. Root them on. Hey, and I want to encourage you. While you like what you're seeing with the Hogs, everybody's quick to, when we don't like what we're seeing, to put stuff on social media and say, well, they stink, they suck, fire Sam Pittman. Hey, why not praise them for the good stuff right now? Okay. And hopefully we see some good stuff this weekend. But let's be positive out there. How about you? How about you, Clint? How about you, Magnum PI? Be positive.
Mustache.
Our mustache. Cool question. Have a great week. Let's beat the Pokes. And come back next week. We'll be talking about War Eagle.
Or whatever that is.
Tigers, War Eagle, whatever they are. They can't decide.
Eagles.
Go Hogs, beat the Pokes.
Woo
pig.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta fight.